is an off-ramp to get you on the right road. Now you start searching for the right road. Now you start to look. The question is that, let me rephrase this. It's not important that you discover the answer. That's not important. The important thing is discovering the question. Because once you open your mind to the ability of asking the question, you start searching something, your mind starts accessing. It starts a Google search. It starts this thing to happen. And once you've created this habit of searching for, you start looking for. When you start looking for it, it reprograms your mind into start searching for something that's like, so you instantly are drawn to this network. Again, this is the analogy of the network of heaven. There is this cross-linking of all this spiritual awareness that's around, and we're trying to access that. When we're doing this thing, our mind is accessing the right side of our brain. That is the creative side. That is the right side of the brain, is the side of the brain that understands and interprets symbols, languages, and words. It's the creative side. These are the things. God is always on the side of the right. The right is all about, it's all in Scripture about what happens on the right side. The sheep are on what side of God? The right. The goats are on the left. Where did Jesus sit at?
The right hand of the Father.
See, again, that right side is very important. So now we've made this next part. The discovery of it. Now we're start making discoveries. How many discoveries have we made in this church?
A lot.
Huh?
A lot.
A lot. So now, once we start making these discoveries, David, it gives you an understanding of. It gives you an understanding. Don't read my writing. Go what I'm saying. This is my notes. This is not your notes. These are my notes. But really, for me, stay on track in case you really want to know. But it is an understanding of your purpose, understanding of the purpose of this knowledge. Now you're creating understanding. And what happens to when you are at the understanding level, action, somebody can say, you believe in God? Yeah. Are you a Christian? Yeah. Well, you know that ain't his name. You say, well, yeah, I'm aware of that. You say, well, what? Because instantly they're going to try to tear down your biblical knowledge. Now you have an understanding of it. You've searched this thing out. You have answers. And all of a sudden now, because you realize what they do when they bring out biblical knowledge is not to free you, it is to trap you within your own parameters. And all of a sudden now they're going to trap you with the laws of legalism. Again, when Satan said, did God really say this? What was he doing? He was trying to trap these people within the laws of legalism. Is that what God really said? God said this right here. Well, you're not apparently living up to God's thing. How many times when we're attacked as Christians, well, you're not graceful, you're cussed, they're always telling us that we're not doing what?
We're not perfect.
We're not perfect. So they're telling you that you're not living up to these own standards. And why are they doing that? To destroy you.
But if they're telling you, they're judging you, so they're,
But the point is that remember the source of their words. The source of their words is this. Whenever you're hearing something, whenever something's going on, and I deal with this every day, I deal with accusations. But the problem is that I've had to learn to understand. So, if Lance and I have a problem, I have to go to Lance because I'm hearing accusations against Lance in my mind. Lance is not doing this. Lance done that. I think it's me thinking these things. But inside, it is these things that I have granted spiritual dominion in my life. I've let these spiritual influences realm increase in my head, and I have not understood this. Satan is called what? The accuser of the brethren. He accuses you. He causes you to accuse others. He's the father of all lies. Accusations, the things we are so stupid sometimes, we cannot realize that these accusations that we're both hearing and feeling towards somebody else are not our own, but they're planted on our own fears and insecurities. I told y'all this story. There was a guy. We all made, if there was one guy who probably was gay, we thought it would be him at our shop. And this one kid was so afraid of being near this guy that every time the guy would walk by, he'd go. He was so insecure of himself. To where one day I told him, I said, man, Mark's got his eye on you. Man, this guy wanted to fight him. It was on. Dominic, it was on. This kid was freaking out over this thing. And so I went to Mark one time. I said, Mark, doesn't it bother you? Because I know Mark had a pretty wife. I said, Mark, does it bother you that these people, he said, no. I said, why not? He said, is it true? Yeah. Amen. The only people that accusations bother is if it's true. Right. He says, I don't care. I think it's funny that this kid freaks out. But the problem is, why is the kid freaking out? Because he's not secure in himself. So you see, responses to accusations reveal truth. That is true to a point until you become a husband. And then you ask the immortal question, what did I do wrong? Asking the question, what you've done wrong, is not oftentimes, sometimes it is a sign of guilt, but sometimes it's a sign of like, what do I do now? I don't know. I'm certain I did something wrong, but I don't realize what it is because we men can set our wives off with nothing. It's just what we do. We're good at this. So now that we've created this thing, now we have an understanding of it, guess what we got to do? Commit to it. So, I have an understanding, and I'm gaining this understanding of my new role within my family. And the thing is that my wife asked this question, and right now it's really not feasible, but it's getting there. Has anybody in this house ever been through a state of construction? What is the last thing you have when your house is in a state of construction? Huh? Not just patience. How about cleanliness and orderliness? Yeah. When you're tearing your living room floor out because you're going to replace your living room floor because you made a bad choice, now you're going to make another choice. And so the thing is that you learn to really think hard about your choices now because you done screwed up once, not twice. And the thing is you got everything scattered around. You're going to have a mess. Things you cannot help. But one of the things is my wife has told me, she said, what would help me is if she didn't really say this, she says, but I want my house to stay clean. What she was saying is that without saying it, if you're not working and you're not out doing something that day, clean your mess up. That would help me a lot.
Work area.
Huh?
Clean up your work area.
Exactly. So the thing is that I'm starting to learn. Huh? And so the thing is that I'm trying to learn this thing, but as well, I'm also becoming aware, AJ, of a new responsibility. A new thing that I can help my family out is honestly being more active because I'm not there. Because when she gets home at 5:30, almost 6, what's the last thing you want to do when you get home at 5:30 to 6? Cook. So the thing is, if I can start doing these things and start helping her buy groceries, start doing these things, I've taken off a burden. So I'm having an understanding of how I can make Monty's life easier, honestly, to tell you the truth. And so if I can commit to this path, do it every day, now it leads to the third part, spiritual development. By me committing to this path, I am spiritually growing. I told you the story about how I was working through the house, and I know you men are never guilty of this, and I know you women are never guilty of this, but my wife, I was carrying a load of crap, and I'm going through the house, my mind on weekends, because when I worked full time, I would work on nights, I'd work on weekends. and especially on weekends. I had so much I had to do to get done. And so what would happen is I'm just focused on getting my stuff done. And I'm going through and I'm carrying something, and she's coming and carrying. I'm a man. Who's more important? I am. Look at my load. Look how much I'm carrying around. Well, she ain't carrying nothing around, but look at the difference in strength. So what do? I stop. AJ, I'm expecting her to move out of the way because, Eric, I've got a load of crap. And then it hits me. Why don't you get out of the way? Why don't you let her through? Ooh. So from then on, I really try to make an effort to consciously develop that habit of letting her go through. Letting her go and do these things first, let her do her process, because I'm trying to grow. The thing is, we are meant to be drawn, children are meant to be drawn closer to God. The thing is that how are they drawn closer to God? Axton, I have to make him aware of these things. I have to give him the tools. I have to show him these things. But yet, like I was telling Zane, you're not at that point yet to where you're ready to be drawn, because your mind is not ready at this point of development. Axton is getting there. I have to be throwing these seeds out there to show him what to look for, to give him guidelines to be drawn closer to God. And as well, I have to allow him, and I have to allow God, because the other side of it is that there is this cross-linking process that happens without your influence. Because again, children are children of rebellion. How are they children of rebellion? Because we were children of rebellion. It's in our nature to be rebellious. So the thing is that it's scientifically proven. If you squeeze Jell-O in the palm of your hand, Lance, what's going to happen? The Jell-O is going to squeeze out. When you start trying to force feed kids religion that you're not living up to yourself, that is not evident in your life, your kids are not going to do it. And forcing your kids. I love what David said. David said where he would like to be is that until it's dark, no electronics. None. Go outside and play. You know what Mama used to do? She would lock us out. Unplug the TV. Lock us out.
We do that very well.
And the thing is that
We do that at my house now.
yeah.
But
You
need
go
to give a
outside.
warning to get your kids at night.
You go outside, because why is this battlefield for our kids? Because again, all this is getting to the point of blocking their spiritual development. The thing is that it's our job to bring them up and out of the world. It's our job to sow the seeds, to let God mature it, to let God call them out. I remember when Bailey was saved. I remember it because I was panicking of how to witness to my child. Kyle, that's a terrifying thought, how to witness to your child. How do you witness to your child, the same child you just whoop their butt? How do you do this thing? God said, take care of my business, I'll take care of yours. Nature of covenant. And I remember when God did it on Bailey. I'll never forget it. I'll never forget looking over there and seeing Bailey talking to Sister Ricky. I'll never forget that moment. And I was like, God, you got it. You got it. If you can do that, you got me from here on out, because I need this in my life. That really cemented my path and my commitment to this thing. And then I myself started working on my spiritual development to bring me up, to try to grow beyond the boundaries and the borders that had been established. Because the thing is that I've always known that there's something missing in my spiritual awareness. I've always known that there's something add up. Because again, I have never in my life really heard anybody teach about why Jesus was 12 when the age was 13. Never. I was never even taught that them things were important. Until you start looking at them. Then you start understanding, and you kind of go, wait a second. I remember AJ and I was talking about one time about the months and how the months got changed up and how it got manipulated and went into the Gregorian calendar and all these different things. And it's like, wow. And you start having an awareness of these timelines, and you kind of go, oh, now I see things. And now I can't help but look. Amber and I was leaving here yesterday. What was my theory on trailers? Y'all remember? I said it in passing. I didn't understand it. The piece fit in when Lance and I was over there, and Lance was tearing up this piece of concrete, and I went over there to him, and I'm looking at all these trailers they're moving in. And I'm thinking back to myself, when did it change? Because in the old days, you could not move a trailer in the city limits of Conway. Couldn't do it. If there was one there already, it could stay there. It's grandfather. But you could not replace it. A buddy of mine tried to a few years ago, and they wouldn't let him. Now all of a sudden, Lance, how many new trailers are they moving in? How'd that happen? Huh? Think about this thing. Something happened. Something changed. Amber and I, when you leave, you go by the new trailer place, again, the model in my mind, and I've told Lance this, we need to be aware, because it really influences a lot. You need to be aware of what's going on. When we left yesterday, I looked over at them, because I'd already seen one. All the trailers that I've seen so far look the same.
Was that trailer community
Like
down
a
yonder?
FEMA trailer.
Yeah. And the thing is that you know what it all is? Think about, why do we have so many motels in Conway? What is a major tourist draw in Conway?
That's it.
Go to Toads Up today. Toads Up Day. When is that? Heck, I don't even know when. I know it's sometime. I know we're getting close to the fair
Yeah, definitely.
because it's getting cold. My mother and I talked about that. I know deer season's coming up. It's getting ready to get cold. But honestly, do we have? I know Greenbrier is still getting. Guy is still getting to Disneyland. I know it's coming.
What?
That's a long story. But Disney was looking at a guy to put in the park, and guy.
That was always a rumor right there. If they were gonna look at Safari Park and put something in there, yeah, for that Safari Park.